All right, tubers, the storms are over. Thankfully, what do we got here? 8:37. I had no idea that this was going to be coming that bad. For probably 15, 20 minutes, we had some pretty severe thunderstorms, but they have all moved away onto the peninsula. And what do you got? Three people here. Man, my face is kind of drowned out. Yeah, it'll have to do. I don't want to put the big light on tonight because, believe it or not, there's actually still some heat out there. Got heat indexes still into the mid 90s. I-386, 9 p.m. is my lay down time and watch TV. Well, you know what? If you're still here, we're going a little bit earlier. I was going to wait till 9, but I'll be honest with you guys. I am kind of punchy right now myself. Had a really good exercise day. Did a little more than I should have. What am I at right now? 21,938, almost 22,000 steps. If you don't believe me, you guys can see it right there. Wait a couple more minutes for everybody to get notified. I-386, I'm looking at the radar now for your area. Looks like just rain now and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Not even that. Believe it or not, we did not really get any rain. We had some thunder. We had a bunch of lightning, but no rain. So basically what they would consider that is heat lightning more than anything. Got Classic Mobile Home here. Josh Kinder says hello. Chris Bartlett's here. Nice to see you, Chris. I-386, I'm here, was testing some FRS radios through my scanner. I have no idea what that means. At Facebook, my dog turned his head looking. That's funny. All right, tubers. So I hope you guys didn't get offended by the thumbnail. And, I had a hard time figuring out how I wanted to do this live stream. But mainly I wanted to say that there is nothing wrong with doing good deeds. I try to do at least 1 or 2 good deeds a week, maybe more if I'm feeling very generous. But there's a point to where people will take advantage of your good deeds. And what we affectionately or less than affectionately call it is becoming a doormat. Unfortunately, in this world, a lot of people will take advantage of a kind person's nature, and they will do things, not very nice things to them sometimes, or they'll do things that benefit them and not you, basically. Now, again, there's a fine line here between saying that you're a good person, that you're trying to do the best you can, and then being so good that people are going to take advantage of you. And I want to kind of hear from everybody and let me know if you've had any issues like that. Have you had people in your life that you've been very, very nice to, and at the end, they just wound up taking advantage of you? They really weren't your friends or your lovers or whatever. Because believe it or not, this has happened to me quite a few times in my life, and I'm just done with it, to be honest with you. I am not looking for any more stragglers, if you will. And that's a term that I'm going to use a lot in this live stream because it's hurt me in life. I've had people that I thought were very, very close to me that I consider to be friends, confidants, more than just acquaintances. And unfortunately, they turned out to just be in it for what they could get out of it, basically. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if any of you have had toxic friendships, relationships, whatever you want to call them. Classic Mobile Home said it's happened to them, him and his wife. Robert Jones says, more than I can count. It's very sad. And, and I get the fact that there are people out there that really need help. people that are struggling to make it, day to day. And I am so blessed. I wake up every morning and thank the Lord that I have a roof over my head. I have people that love me, aka my parents, and that I have, a steady income. And, there are a lot of people out there that just can't say that. A lot of people will go to bed at night, and wake up and not know where they're going to be sleeping the next day. I've met people like that. And it is very sad. And yes, I do believe that we should help people, um, to the best of our abilities, but at the same time, we can't help them to where it's going to start hurting ourselves. And the phrase charity begins at home. That is really true. I've realized that to be the best person I can possibly be, I have to make sure that all my loved ones, my family, my closest people are all taken care of. And once that has been accomplished, and I consider that pretty much accomplished for me, at least in my book, then I can start to branch out a little bit and be more charitable. And I hope that you guys can do the same thing as well. Volunteer at your local animal shelter, volunteer at your local, if you're in the United States, Petco, PetSmart, all these big, pet food places have adoptions, and you can actually volunteer, to take care of the cats. And I used to do that quite a bit. So put yourself out there, but at the same time, always be leery of the fact that there are people out there that will take advantage of your good nature. We got 12 people here. Oh, Mark Covington wants to know why we had a late start to the live stream. Well, Mark, it was because of the storms that were coming into the area. And being where you are, I'm sure you probably got it even worse than we did. I probably honestly could have started the live stream on time or just a little bit later. But I didn't want to risk it because, if I start the live stream and we start to lose power, you guys are going to probably start freaking out and saying, "Oh my gosh, he got hit by another tornado. Oh my goodness, is he okay?" So I figured it was better just to wait until everything had let line and calmed down. So there's the short/long answer to that one. Eric goes, I was driving into some rain. It looks like the storm is heading here. I don't think it's the same one because honestly, the storm that we got was heading south from the peninsula. But with the way the lightning and all the heat has been, I'm not surprised you guys are getting pop-up storms pretty much everywhere on the East Coast. Am I coming through clear? Am I too drowned out with the light? I mean, it kind of looks good here, but I don't want to start looking like a ghost. No, we actually didn't get any flooding here. We've hardly gotten any rain. I honestly don't think we got any rain during the storm. It was weird. Normally, when we get severe thunderstorms, or at least strong thunderstorms, like I'd say we had tonight, it's always associated with rain, but no, we didn't get any rain. MB says, coming to the United States next month. I'm very excited for my holiday. It's always fun to visit another country. I've visited Canada, and that's about it. Maybe one day I'd love to get over to Europe. I think it would be fun. I want to go to England first and foremost. I've always wanted to visit England, and hopefully I'll get a chance to do it someday. Eric says we're supposed to be getting damaging storms. Yeah, I think everywhere. Just the heat. I mean, the heat breeds these storms. Classic Mobile Home says, yes, I've lived on the streets before my wife. We've all had hard times. And that's why, again, I want to tell you guys, just make sure that you are as charitable as you can possibly be without it hurting you. Robert Jones says, I've had to let go of a couple poisonous friendships in my lifetime. You will have those. Believe it or not, when I was younger, and I'm not going to name names, but I had friends that stole from me, that betrayed me, confidences to other people that I didn't want them to. It's all happened to me in the past, and I've seen it all. I'm getting wiser now that I'm in my 30s and I'm getting older, and I keep my close friends close and my acquaintances at arm's length, because unless I really know you and I really trust you, I'm not gonna put you in that friend circle. You guys remember Meet the Parents? You remember the circle of trust, the Burns circle of trust, where everybody in that circle of trust was what they would consider a very close friend or a family member, and if you're outside of that, you're looked on with suspicion. Back when that movie first came out, I thought that was absurd. But now that I'm getting older, I do see the logic and the wisdom in having something like that. Because again, you have to be so careful out there nowadays. There are people that want to do you harm, and they will shroud themselves in kindness and good deeds, or what appear to be kindness and good deeds, when in reality, they're not. I-36, a lady that works at the Kroger I worked at, not many employees like her, used to work self-checkout overnight. She would dance and sing. She told me she was homeless once. I think she's funny. There again, and I will say this too, there are a lot of people out there that are homeless by choice. As a matter of fact, and there's somebody I know up where my uncle lives, and she panhandles right on the main drag. And she could have a job if she wanted. Heck, they've offered her housing, but she doesn't want it. She likes that lifestyle for whatever reason. And it sounds to me like maybe this lady's the same way. I mean, if she's honestly that happy, then really isn't anything you can do. It is kind of sad when you think about it. But you know what? People like that vagabond lifestyle. Mark asks, why are there some people that panhandle for money? Well, the short answer for most people is it's easier than working. A lot of people would just rather do that than earn a honest day's living. And a lot of times they can earn just as much panhandling than they would at a regular 9 to 5 job. And I guess there really is no motivation for them to get a job. I wouldn't do that, because I know that at the end of the day, I would be taking money from hardworking people that really probably can't afford to be giving their money away. And if you are disabled and you cannot honestly work, then I'm okay with panhandling. But unfortunately, there are a lot of them out there that are not disabled. Believe it or not, I know there are some people in our area that panhandle, that they get out there early in the morning. Maybe they'll stay out there for 4 or 5 hours. Afternoon comes, they'll go right to their car and drive off. And it's not usually an old beater. A lot of these people have nice trucks, and if they tuck behind like a building or something, and you look, you'll see them talking on a smartphone. And again, it's not usually a cheap one. It's usually an iPhone XR or a Samsung Galaxy S9 or 10. So you got to be very careful. Better than giving money to panhandlers, if you want to give your money, give it to a noteworthy charity. You are going to be doing much better with your money. Eric Brunhammer, I was coming out of a grocery store one day and a dude walks up saying he hasn't eaten in days. I told him I'd buy him a sandwich from inside, but I don't carry cash. He refused the food. Yeah, chances are either a drug addict or wanting money for alcohol. Evan Kyogi. The cloaks are coming off as Babylon is revealed and the mark of the beast and implant in the cashless society in order to pay for things, and you'll get a social score. You know what? I don't usually talk religion on this channel, but honestly, dude, I believe you. And that is a lot of what the modern day theologians are thinking will be the mark of the beast. It will be some type of implant that you get in your body, so you can basically just go to the register and scan your hand and buy your groceries or buy your whatever. Back in the day, they had no idea what that would be. They thought it was literally going to be a mark of something like 3 6s or something like you would have like tattooed on your body. But yeah, as what we believe the end approaches, the return approaches, then yeah, that's what a lot of people are thinking. I do agree. God does need to come back soon. I'm seeing that more and more each day. I-36, a friend of ours carries blessing bags. She gives them to people standing, hitchhiking, or anyone on the street that looks like they need help. Believe it or not, our church did that last year twice during the fall and the winter, and we went on a Saturday, prepared them, put them together, and basically anybody in the congregation or anybody that wanted could take them, and basically handed them out to anybody that needed them. And what we actually did at our church, I don't know if yours did this, but our church had men's and women's bags, mainly because men and women have different needs. Mark Covington asks, what is the best thing to do if a stranger asks for money so he or she can buy him or her something to eat, etc.? It's all up to you. Most of the time, I will give a dollar or two just so they can get some food if I think that they'll actually go get food. But again, even better than that is to go and buy them some food. Or again, if you have one of those blessing bags, you can give that to them and put a little bit of money inside. That's probably the best thing to do, because even if they spend the money on alcohol or something, at least they'll have the blessing bag, which usually contains some type of food, snack packs, graham crackers, things like that. With Brian, hey Matt, does your area down there have a big panhandler homeless issue? It depends on the area. Panhandling, yes, we have a lot of panhandlers. Homeless, it depends. There are certain parts of the Hampton Roads that have it worse than others. Portsmouth is probably has the largest demographic of homeless, but they are well taken care of, honestly, for the most part. We have a lot of missions and soup kitchens where we are, so they do okay. Spider Guard, what do you think about people pretending to be homeless? I think the answer is obvious. It is. It's a sham. It really is, and I think they should be ashamed of themselves, because if you have the means to provide for yourself, then you should not be asking other people that have a hard enough time making ends meet to provide for your ends. I-36. I don't see many people. I do not see many people where I live on the streets, but Macon, Georgia has people. That is why I hate going to Macon, Georgia, because of the homeless and the crime. Yeah, I mean, there are certain areas where I live that you really need to stay away from. Mr. Jimmy, all these people go hungry at places like Best Buy and grocery shops. Dollar Trees just chuck out so much good food. Yeah, I don't know how bad it is where you live, but here in the States, it's gotten even worse than you might think. About once a day, Walmart pulls all their expired or Best Buy food that's past the Best Buy date, and they chuck it in their dumpster. We have tried for years to get them to start some kind of outreach to where they give that food away, but they haven't done it. And the excuse being that, well, this food is expired, so if we were to give it to somebody and they were to get sick, then we could get sued, which again, I do understand them to a point, but honestly, it's a very low risk. You got to remember there's a difference between Best Buy and expired food. Best Buy just means that food is best eaten or consumed by that date. But the chances are it's good for many, many more months and maybe even many more years past that date. My cats are meowing at the door, but I'm not letting them in because they've really been bad lately. With Brian, what about the Norfolk area by Virginia Beach? I guess I will have to have a good chat with my son before he heads down there for school. You don't really have to worry too much. It's very obvious where the good and bad areas are, especially around here. Just make sure you have a talk with them. Let them know that there are people out there that want to extort you. Fine, that's not a good word. Want to exploit you to get money, and you just have to be very careful. Great. That's a good point, Spider Guard. He goes, the homeless might as well go dumpster diving more often. You know what? There are people out there that will dumpster dive for food. And I'm not talking about just homeless people. I know people that do it, and they have a home. They just do it because it's cheap and it's free. Heck, the food's free and they know that it's still safe to consume. No, I386 goes, dog is laying on the bed in this spot. Yeah, my cats will do that sometimes too. Eric Brunhammer, Wawa gives a lot of their stuff like the expired breakfast sandwiches to local food banks. My mother volunteers at a thrift store that is one of those food banks. I like Wawa. Wawa not only has a lot of good food options, but now that I've heard that, I'm going to have to start shopping there even more. They have really good subs too. One of my favorite subs from Wawa during the holidays is their Thanksgiving dinner sub, where they literally put everything you would have on a Thanksgiving dinner on a sub. I'm talking turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, what is it, green bean casserole, carrots and turnips. I mean, they put everything on there, and it is so good. I mean, it actually sounds like it wouldn't be, but it is to die for. Oh, excuse me. Sorry you guys had to see that. I got an itchy nose. I was trying to do it off camera, but I really couldn't. Yeah, Eric doesn't like the Wawa subs anymore. Well, they're still good in our area, though. Our area doesn't really set the bar too high on sub quality. All right, tubers, I'm going to have to end the live stream here. I am getting extremely punchy. I am really, really tired. Would have been longer if I could have started this thing a little bit earlier. Hope you guys have a great evening. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.